All right, guys, hi. Thank you for joining me here today. I'm Dorothy, your professional astrologer. So I want to talk about January for the month, but before I do that, I just want to let you know, if you haven't signed up for my email list, amongst the new people who go to my website, nhastrologer.com, and join my email list for my newsletter, of the new people who do that, I am picking 3 people every month for a 20-minute session free with me. So go to nhastrologer.com and sign up there if you would like to be part of that. And please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I put up lots of videos every single month and you are notified when they are up. So let's get started. I want to talk about, for this month, 3 things, because otherwise these videos just get way too long. So I have 3 things that I've chosen out of the month, and there's always a ton more that I want to talk to you guys about in the general sense. So I'm going to give you that general information right now. And the second piece of each video will be where these things are going on and influencing you for each of your zodiac signs. I also like to pull an oracle card or 2. I might just do that too for each sign for the month of January. All right, so let me get started with what's going on here. So I got my notes in front of me. It's a big whiteboard. See? Talking about being authentic. Very important to be authentic right now. It's always important to be our true selves anyways. This is me. I'm not going to be anybody I'm not. When we live in our own authenticity, we live true to ourselves, you know, the energy, life just flows a whole lot better. And I know that just my own life experience has proven that to myself. So one of the first things I'm going to talk about, I'll tell you really quick. Mercury Retrograde, I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about Jupiter Retrograde, and as it makes its conjunction to the North Node, the lunar node, on the day it goes retrograde. And then, if I'm not running too long, I'm going to talk about Venus in Sag. Okay, so Mercury. Mercury's retrograde January 7th all the way through January 26th. Now, it starts its retrograde motion in the sign of Aquarius. It will only be at 0 degrees of Aquarius, but it will be at that degree for a whole week. And so we're getting to start off a retrograde. Retrogrades, you know, the day that, especially Mercury or any planet, truly, when they go retrograde, the day that they're retrograde, and even the day that they're direct, they're at a standstill from our perspective here on this planet. And you know, the energy of that just means that what it means is nothing's moving. Nothing will move. It's stopped. It's like us when we're in our car. You know, there's that dead stop before we go the next direction. So Mercury tends to be very free-flowing, great for gathering information. It's very lighthearted, very easy, kind of like the butterfly, because we're describing, you know, Mercury in its natural rulership of Gemini. Now, with it in Aquarius, as it goes retrograde, again, being in 1 degree for a whole week as opposed to a single day like it usually is, lots of communication issues are just going to go hit a standstill. And whether this means that, whether it's communication and, you know, phones just go bad, computers go haywire for a little bit, or if we look at the other aspect of Mercury, transportation and movement. So wherever you live, there could be some weather. You know, I live in the northern hemisphere, so I'm looking at, you know, probably some bad weather that week, just that will keep us home a little more so we're not moving out and about as much, okay? So don't take this as the end of the world by any means, but there will definitely take this whole week, especially the first week of January, it'll take a little while for us to get rolling on what this Mercury energy is really wanting to produce. It's not going to produce much in Aquarius. What it will do when it moves into the sign of Capricorn, somewhere around the 10th, once it moves into the sign of Capricorn, like 29 degrees, 28, it's backing all the way up to 14 degrees of Capricorn, which is where those cardinal planets have been, you know, right around 13, 14, 15 degrees for months and years on end, right? And that tells me that we got some more cardinal cross, cardinal T-square things happening, and this is the case. So later in the month, this will take a little while, but on January 20th, Mercury makes a square aspect to Uranus, and then on the 22nd and the 30th, it conjuncts Pluto. Now, it conjuncts Pluto as a retrograde planet on the 22nd and as a direct planet on the 30th. So what do these two things mean? And I'm going to get to where it is for each of the signs in just a second, so hang on. With Mercury making a square aspect to Uranus, this is communication, especially as a retrograde planet. You know, there's just going to be, we're going to be getting weird emails, we're going to be getting weird messages, we're going to be getting stuff that is just through the roof very different. Now, Aquarius and Uranus rules Aquarius. Since Mercury started its retrograde in that sign, and the planet that is the ruler of gets an aspect from Mercury, you know, we're going to, you know, we feel like we need to move and we need to do something. This could be a pretty tricky retrograde this time around. If you have electronics, this is one of the times, because Aquarius rules those things. I would recommend before we go retrograde, so you're going to hear this ahead of time because I have it up in December. For those of you lucky enough to see it ahead of time, definitely back up your electronics. And keep an eye on them, you know, fix things, renew things, do what you need to do to keep things in alignment and up to date. And that's really important. And that's that Mercury square Uranus, all right, January 20th. And we're going to feel that a few days on either side of that date, okay? And that's the day that the sun enters Aquarius as well. So I'm telling you, it's going to be an interesting day on January 20th. There's just going to be a lot of rocking and rolling going on. And I'll be there to see it too. We'll let each of us know how that happens. Fill me in when you get a chance if you like. Then on the 22nd and on the 30th, when Mercury does make this conjunction to Pluto, you know, whatever we were doing that went through a major shakeup or just, you know, amazing news. I mean, this can even be amazing news. Don't take shakeups as something that's negative all the time, you know, with that Uranus energy. On the 22nd, when it does conjunct Pluto, there could be a very deep transformation. It's like, okay, so I have this new information. What do I do with it now? All right, what do I do with it now? And this is how we look at it. And on the 22nd, all the way through the 30th, Mercury will just be in conjunction with Pluto that whole time, within a few degrees either side. And so we are changing and transforming how we see things and how we feel about something and how we're presenting that out in our immediate environment. Because Mercury is in charge of the immediate environment as well as the communication piece that everybody speaks about. So if you don't know enough about Mercury, go search it out and you'll get lots of good information about that. So next step is what is going on in what house. So, and the houses will be representative of your zodiac sign. So that is next. Okay, so Capricorn, this one's for you. And, you know, since all of this energy is in the sign of Capricorn, most of the retrograde, it is going on in your solar first house. Now, the retrograde of Mercury is on January 5th. I don't think I mentioned that in the beginning part of this video. And since all of this is emanating from your first house, that means what you're presenting to the world could be misunderstood. People might not hear you. You might not hear them. And so take your time during this retrograde and be very clear and precise when you need to communicate with others, okay? Now, Jupiter retrograde on January 7th. And when it retrogrades on the 7th, it also conjuncts the North Node in Virgo. Now, this is in the same sector, in the same area where we had an eclipse in September. The lunar node represents a life path, life purpose type of energy. Jupiter has always represented in our expanded awareness, where we're feeling and seeing the bigger picture, where we're feeling inspired in a way destiny plays a role, especially when Jupiter and the node are together like this. They're going to travel together all the way through till about, I think somewhere in June, I think I saw. But right now, while Jupiter is stationary, is important. Stationary to retrograde. In your solar ninth house, Jupiter's natural home. This is good. That just means that eclipse back in September was in that sector too. So if you started some school back then, that same type of information, that same type of energy is being presented to us again. All right? And as it's being presented to us again, that means you're going to step up into something else, whether you're learning something new, learning something metaphysical. You know, this is January, so that's like the first 2 semesters of schooling is complete. So you're in the winter about to start the winter series of classes if you're in school. And if you're not, this is an opportunity for you to study something and learn something new, especially something that is intuitive, spiritual, metaphysical. All right? Open up that third eye. You might like it. All right. Then I want to move on to Venus and Sagittarius. Venus and Sag, most of January is very fun, very adventurous. It represents, fun and adventure in a relationship. If your relationship has kind of got a little flat in that department, you're going to feel the need for it. Or if you don't have a relationship, getting out and playing and doing the things that you enjoy and you have fun, it's a great opportunity to meet somebody in what's a common adventure that you like to have. Now, it is also conjunct Saturn this month. And while it makes that conjunction to Saturn in Sagittarius, it can, and that's in your solar 12th house, which is hidden things. So what we get with this is it's important that you live from the heart. I've told everybody this, but live from the heart, but trust what you know, trust your intuition. When Saturn moves through this sector and Venus is coming to make a connection to it, we can feel insecure and we can feel like we don't know what we want in a love relationship. But what it wants you to do is it wants you to know that relationships can be commitments. You can feel very steady, very strong, very secure in your love relationships. Don't approach those relationships that you have from fear. Let me set my board down. You don't want to approach any relationships from fear, especially with Saturn and Venus conjunct during January. There's only one day in January, but I'm not going to tell you what day because I don't want you to get over-focused on that day. I just want you to know that if you're feeling the need to commit to somebody, commit. If you're going to commit because you're feeling fear, don't commit. That's not the way to commit with somebody. Commit from the heart, from where you know what you feel is right. Okay? Now, I pulled 2 cards for this for you guys, for Capricorn, and everything I've pulled so far for these last 9 zodiac signs basically have all added information to Venus and Saturn, and this is pretty much the same. The first thing is Solitude card comes up. All right, this is John Holland's deck. It's a nice deck. This Solitude card comes up because Saturn's in the 12th house, and Saturn is in that sector usually for about 2.5 years, depends on your individual charts. And solitude is good for us. It gives us time to contemplate and time to understand and work on anything that's hidden, anything we're afraid of, anything that we're really good at. We get to work. Solitude is a good thing. And some people, I know there's some young parents out there that are like, yeah, take some solitude. I get it. Finding it, or you have a lot of it, all right? That's what that represents. And then the Shadow card comes up, okay? And the Shadow card means this can go, this is not positive, negative. It's basically yin and yang. It's the light and the dark. We have an equal amount of each, but whatever we choose to express more, we will express more. And with Saturn, again, moving through that 12th house, Venus moving through there, that definitely presents a light and a dark side of things. Saturn can get very dark if we're not moving with the energy. And with Venus in there, Venus is just all happy and about love and about beauty and about light. And so that's where that light card comes, and the light and the shadow comes from with that card. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. Come to my website, nhastrologer.com. Please share this video with your friends and loved ones, and subscribe to my channel. And yes, I do classes online, so no matter where you are, if you have Skype, you and I can talk, private sessions, classes, and I also do private mentoring. I have 8 slots open for the private mentorship program that I have running. So if you're interested in that or want to know more, just email me through my website. And lots of love. Namaste. Thank you.